Wait, did Cristiano Ronaldo just hint at retirement, not for football reasons, but for family? The man who's defied time, records, and even gravity. Could this really be the end of an era? And while the world reacts in shock, Erling Haaland steps up. But what he just said about being compared to Messi and Ronaldo has everyone talking. What's really going on behind the scenes, and could this moment change football forever? Stay right here, you'll want to hear this. We'll explain everything in this video step by step, don't skip it. Cue the dramatic stadium music, the roar of the crowd in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats because today's football world is shaking. Cristiano Ronaldo, the name that defined an entire era, may be hanging up his boots. Not for injury, not for form, but for family. Yes, you heard it right, CR7. The man who conquered Europe, shattered records, and defied age itself is reportedly planning to retire from football to focus on the people who've been with him long before the fame and the goals. From Sporting Lisbon to Manchester, from Madrid to Turin, from Europe to Saudi Arabia, he's done it all. Goals, he's got mountains of them. Moments, too many to count. But even legends know when it's time to take a bow. The world stands in awe. Could this be the final chapter of the Ronaldo saga? And just as one story edges toward its end, another star shines brighter. Erling Haaland, the Nordic powerhouse, the unstoppable goal machine. The Manchester City striker was quick to calm the flames of comparison, saying it's too soon to be placed alongside Messi and Ronaldo, a rare display of humility from a man who could probably score in his sleep. But let's be honest, the torch is being passed, slowly but surely. The Ronaldo-Messi era gave us magic, rivalry and memories we'll tell our grandkids about. And now, Haaland stands on that same pitch, ready to build his own empire with the calmness of a Viking and the hunger of a lion. So, what does it mean for football? A legend perhaps taking his final bow and a new titan rising to carry the flame forward. Because in this beautiful game, the story never ends. It just finds new heroes. And today, we're witnessing the dawn of another chapter in football history. Crowd roars, whistle blows, music swells. Stay tuned, because when it comes to football, the drama is never over. Cristiano Ronaldo considering retirement for family reasons has sent shockwaves through the football world, leaving fans, pundits and players alike in disbelief. For over 2 decades, Ronaldo has been the symbol of dedication, ambition and unrelenting pursuit of greatness. His name is synonymous with discipline and excellence, a player who turned raw talent into a legacy of perfection through sheer willpower. Yet, behind the spotlight, behind the roaring stadiums and glittering trophies, there has always been a man balancing between global stardom and personal life. Now, that balance seems to be calling him back home. Sources close to the Portuguese superstar have hinted that Ronaldo is seriously contemplating stepping away from the game to devote more time to his family. It's not about injury, fitness or form, it's about priorities shifting after an extraordinary journey that has seen him reach the very top of world football. He's 40 soon, a father of 5 and a global icon who has already achieved every possible accolade from Ballon d'Ors to Champions League glory, from international triumphs with Portugal to breaking scoring records that once seemed untouchable. At this point, Ronaldo's life is not just about football, it's about legacy, peace and the moments that fame can't buy. Family has always played a central role in his story, from his mother's struggles raising him in Madeira to his father's early passing that shaped his emotional toughness. Ronaldo's roots have been his quiet motivation. Throughout his career, he's spoken about how deeply he values his mother, his children, and the family unit that keeps him grounded despite living under the constant glare of global media. In recent years, the emotional weight of being away from loved ones, constant travel, matches, and media obligations may have finally caught up to him. His move to Saudi Arabia with Al Nassr, initially seen as a professional adventure and global expansion of football's reach, might also have given him the perspective of slowing down. Away from the European pressure cooker and closer to family-centred values, Ronaldo appears to have found time to reflect on life beyond the pitch. He's watched his eldest son grow into a young footballer, seen his twins and youngest children begin to discover the world, and realised perhaps that time with them is more precious than another goal or another record. This decision, if it happens, won't be made lightly. Ronaldo's competitive nature has always driven him to defy age, criticism and expectation, but even the fiercest warriors must eventually listen to their hearts. Retirement for family reasons isn't a sign of weakness, it's a final act of maturity from a man who has already conquered the sport in every way imaginable. For Ronaldo, the idea of stepping away isn't about ending his story, it's about choosing what truly matters after a lifetime of giving everything to the game. It's the side of Cristiano the world rarely sees: the father, the son, the man behind the legend, quietly realising that the greatest victory might be spending time with those who have waited for him all along. The end of an era for Cristiano Ronaldo marks a moment that football fans have dreaded but always knew would come. For nearly 20 years, Ronaldo has been more than a player. He has been a global phenomenon, a relentless machine of ambition, skill, and charisma. His name became a symbol of perfection, a benchmark that every aspiring footballer dreamed of reaching. From his dazzling stepovers at Manchester United to his record-breaking reign at Real Madrid, his dominance at Juventus, and his journey to Al Nassr, every stage of his career has been defined by a hunger that bordered on obsession. He was never satisfied, never content, always chasing more goals, more trophies, more history. That drive built one of the greatest sporting legacies the world has ever seen. When people speak of Ronaldo's journey, they speak of transformation. He arrived in England as a skinny teenager with bright eyes and quick feet, dazzling but raw. Under the guidance of Sir Alex Ferguson, he evolved from a flashy winger into a ruthless goalscorer, mastering every aspect of his game. In Spain, he became a global superstar, leading Real Madrid to multiple Champions League titles and rewriting football's record books. His battles with Lionel Messi defined an era, turning football into an art of rivalry. Every weekend became a duel between two of the greatest players in history, pushing each other to superhuman levels. The numbers he produced: over 800 career goals, countless assists, and a collection of trophies that fill entire rooms, made him a living legend long before he considered retirement. But what makes this moment emotional for fans is not just the statistics, it's the realisation that the unstoppable force who once seemed eternal is human after all. Ronaldo's journey was not just about skill, it was about attitude. The hours he spent training alone after everyone left, the discipline that kept him in peak condition at 38, 39 and beyond, the mindset that refused to settle, defining what was possible. The end of an era doesn't only signify his absence from the pitch, but the closing of a chapter that shaped modern football. With Ronaldo, fans witnessed the evolution of the sport, the era of precision training, nutrition, and professionalism taken to its highest form. He brought glamour to the game, but also discipline. He made millions believe that greatness isn't given, it's earned through pain, perseverance, and purpose. Every stadium he stepped into became electric, every goal celebration iconic, every defeat a new motivation. As the twilight of his career approaches, the realisation settles in that football will never be quite the same without his presence. His story became a mirror for millions striving to turn dreams into destiny. The end of Ronaldo's era isn't just the fading of a player's career, it's the closing act of a legend who transformed the game into something greater than sport itself, leaving behind a legacy that will echo in every generation that follows. The end of an era for Cristiano Ronaldo marks a moment that football fans have dreaded but always knew would come. For nearly 20 years, Ronaldo has been more than a player. He has been a global phenomenon, a relentless machine of ambition, skill, and charisma. His name became a symbol of perfection, a benchmark that every aspiring footballer dreamed of reaching. From his dazzling stepovers at Manchester United to his record-breaking reign at Real Madrid, his dominance at Juventus, and his journey to Al Nassr, every stage of his career has been defined by a hunger that bordered on obsession. He was never satisfied, never content, always chasing more goals, more trophies, more history. That drive built one of the greatest sporting legacies the world has ever seen. When people speak of Ronaldo's journey, they speak of transformation. He arrived in England as a skinny teenager with bright eyes and quick feet, dazzling but raw. Under the guidance of Sir Alex Ferguson, he evolved from a flashy winger into a ruthless goalscorer, mastering every aspect of his game. In Spain, he became a global superstar, leading Real Madrid to multiple Champions League titles and rewriting football's record books. His battles with Lionel Messi defined an era, turning football into an art of rivalry. Every weekend became a duel between two of the greatest players in history, pushing each other to superhuman levels. The numbers he produced: over 800 career goals, Countless assists and a collection of trophies that fill entire rooms made him a living legend long before he considered retirement. But what makes this moment emotional for fans is not just the statistics, it's the realisation that the unstoppable force who once seemed eternal is human after all. Ronaldo's journey was not just about skill, it was about attitude. The hours he spent training alone after everyone left, the discipline that kept him in, peak condition at 38, 39 and beyond, the mindset that refused to settle for anything less than greatness. These became lessons for an entire generation. He wasn't simply playing football, he was redefining what was possible. The end of an era doesn't only signify his absence from the pitch, but the closing of a chapter that shaped modern football. With Ronaldo, fans witnessed the evolution of the sport, the era of precision training, nutrition, and professionalism taken to its highest form. He brought glamour to the game, but also discipline. He made millions believe that greatness isn't given, it's earned through pain, perseverance, and purpose. Every stadium he stepped into became electric, every goal celebration iconic, every defeat a new motivation. As the twilight of his career approaches, the realisation settles in that football will never be quite the same without his presence. His story became a mirror for millions striving to turn dreams into destiny. The end of Ronaldo's era isn't just the fading of a player's career, it's the closing act of a legend who transformed the game into something greater than sport itself, leaving behind a legacy that will echo in every generation that follows. Erling Haaland's humble response to comparisons with Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo reveals a maturity beyond his years and a deep understanding of what those two legends truly represent. The Manchester City striker, despite his record-breaking start to life in England and his thunderous rise to global stardom, knows that greatness isn't measured in moments, but in decades of dominance. When asked about being mentioned in the same breath as Messi and Ronaldo, Haaland didn't take the bait of ego or headlines. Instead, he smiled and said it was too soon. That single answer showed not only humility, but also awareness of the enormous legacy those two have built over 20 years. Haaland's honesty resonated with fans and pundits alike because it came from a player who could easily have chosen arrogance. At just 24, he has already done things that most strikers only dream about. From his early days at Molde and Red Bull Salzburg to his explosive spell at Borussia Dortmund and now his unstoppable form at Manchester City, Haaland has shown an instinct for goals that feels almost supernatural. He's tall, powerful and precise, a striker built like a machine but driven like a warrior. Yet he still recognises that Messi and Ronaldo stand on a different level, not just because of their statistics, but because of their longevity and the pressure they sustained for so many years. His humility doesn't stem from insecurity, it's a sign of respect for the giants who came before him. Messi and Ronaldo didn't just dominate football, they defined it. For nearly 2 decades, they stood atop the game, trading Ballon d'Ors and rewriting history. Haaland knows that maintaining that level year after year requires something deeper than talent. It takes discipline, endurance, and an almost obsessive mentality. And while Haaland's rise has been meteoric, even he understands that sustaining greatness is a marathon, not a sprint. His statement reflects a self-awareness that many athletes never develop, especially in the spotlight of constant comparisons. Still, there's no denying that Haaland is already carving his own path. He shattered Premier League records in his debut season, helping Manchester City win a historic treble. His presence on the pitch is intimidating. Defenders struggle to contain him, goalkeepers dread his power, and fans marvel at how effortlessly he finds the net. But despite all of that, he continues to carry himself with the calmness of someone who knows his journey has just begun. His acknowledgement of Messi and Ronaldo isn't about placing himself below them. It's about showing that he understands the scale of the mountain he's climbing. In a football world obsessed with instant greatness, Haaland's humility is refreshing. He doesn't rush to be crowned, he focuses on earning it. His statement reminds everyone that true legends aren't declared by headlines, but by time, consistency and impact. While others may compare him to Messi and Ronaldo, Haaland himself is simply focused on becoming the best version of Erling Haaland, and in doing so, he's already proving why he may be the rightful heir to the throne. They leave behind a new generation rising in world football, marks the beginning of an exciting and unpredictable era where young stars are stepping out of the shadows of legends like Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo to write their own chapters in history. For almost 2 decades, the football world revolved around those two names, their brilliance creating a duopoly that dominated headlines, awards and hearts. Now, as that golden era reaches its twilight, A new wave of talent is crashing onto the global stage, bold, fearless, and ready to carry the torch forward. Players like Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Junior, and Pedri are no longer prospects. They are already shaping the future of the game with performances that blend flair, intelligence, and ruthless efficiency. This new generation plays football with a blend of confidence and creativity that reflects the modern era. They have grown up studying Messi's dribbles, Ronaldo's work ethic, Neymar's flair, and Modric's elegance, combining those influences into something entirely their own. Haaland represents power and precision, Mbappe symbolises speed and swagger, while Bellingham embodies leadership and composure beyond his age. These players are not only talented, they are global icons in the making, each with the charisma and personality to define the next decade. Football is evolving faster than ever, and these young stars are adapting to it effortlessly, embracing new tactics, new styles, and a world where pressure and fame come instantly through social media and worldwide exposure. What makes this new generation remarkable is their fearlessness. They don't shrink under the weight of comparisons or expectations. Instead, they thrive on it. Bellingham scoring decisive goals for Real Madrid, Mbappe leading France as captain, Haaland breaking records in England. These are signs that the future isn't coming, it's already here. Their youth doesn't make them hesitant, it makes them hungry. They play with joy, but also with purpose, understanding that they're part of a generational transition that carries the emotional weight of billions of fans searching for the next global hero. This shift also symbolises how football continues to reinvent itself. The era of Messi and Ronaldo was built on technical perfection and relentless consistency, while this new generation emphasises versatility, adaptability, and teamwork. Today's young players aren't just individuals chasing personal records, they are the core of dynamic systems that reflect the evolution of tactics in modern football. From Guardiola's positional play to Klopp's pressing philosophy, these youngsters are products of a new footballing intelligence that values quick transitions, creativity, and mental resilience as much as physical ability. The global landscape of football has also changed, with more countries producing world-class talents and clubs investing heavily in youth academies. Fans across the world now celebrate not just the giants of Europe, but rising stars from every continent. It's a new era, defined not by two titans, but by a constellation of emerging stars whose collective brilliance promises to keep football's magic alive for generations to come. Football's story continues, legacy meets future, as the sport once again proves why it is more than just a game. It is an unending tale of triumphs, heartbreaks, and rebirths that span generations, cultures, and emotions. Every era produces its own heroes, its own villains, and its own unforgettable moments that etch themselves into history. The departure of legends like Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi may feel like the end of a golden age, but in truth it marks the beginning of a new one. Football has a way of evolving without ever losing its heartbeat. It's a living, breathing drama that reinvents itself with every whistle, every kick, and every roar from the stands. As one chapter closes, another opens, and the transition between generations gives the sport its timeless magic. Fans who grew up idolising Ronaldo's power and Messi's artistry now witness a new generation rising young players writing their own scripts, driven by the same dreams that once ignited their predecessors. The beauty of football lies in this continuity, where every goal scored carries echoes of those that came before. The torch is passed, not through words, but through inspiration. A young striker practicing free kicks because of Ronaldo, or a creative midfielder learning vision from watching Messi. The cycle never ends, it evolves, adapting to new styles, new fans, and new challenges. Football's power to connect past and future is unmatched. Each era brings different tactics, different technologies, and different heroes, yet the essence remains the same, the passion that drives players to give everything for 90 minutes. Stadiums still erupt with the same emotion they did decades ago. Chants still echo through generations, and jerseys bearing new names still carry the same pride. The sport's evolution doesn't erase the past, it honours it by building on it. The future of football isn't about replacing legends, it's about expanding their legacy through new interpretations of greatness. In every corner of the world, young players are dreaming bigger than ever. They're not just chasing fame or fortune, they're chasing history. The globalisation of football has ensured that no dream is too far away. Whether it's a child in Africa inspired by Salah, a teenager in Norway idolising Haaland, or a young fan in South America trying to emulate Vinicius Junior, The influence of past legends blends seamlessly with the aspirations of tomorrow's stars. The bridge between generations grows stronger with every season. Football never truly says goodbye. It transforms, adapts, and thrives, carried by the spirit of those who play it and those who love it. When Ronaldo and Messi eventually step off the pitch for good, their influence will live on in every goal, every celebration, and every young player daring to believe that they too can change the world with a ball at their feet. Football's story continues, and it always will. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.